Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. We're going to talk about Hollywood, Disney in particular, Warner Brothers in particular, and 2023 is not looking too good for either one of them. In fact, there was an article out here on The Wrap talking about how Disney needs to get its mojo back, that Disney needs to reestablish its identity, and as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, there's speculation they might actually sell CNN. So pretty interesting stuff. We're going to talk about the tough year of 2022 and how things are going to get really bad in 2023. We're going to see a lot of changes in Hollywood, I think, out of necessity. Unfortunately, that means that a lot of more expensive entertainment is probably going to get cut in favor of stuff done on the cheap. And unfortunately, all the stuff I like, animation and science fiction, costs money. So we'll see what happens. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 284,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. If you're still not getting notified of our video content, go out to clownfishtv.com. Every time we post a video, it gets posted there as well. So let's start with this first. 2022 was a tough year for media stocks like Netflix and Disney. 2023 doesn't look good either. This is coming from CNBC. Media stocks were hit with major losses in 2022 as streaming subscriber growth waned and the advertising market weakened. Yes, ad rates are down. I can tell you, again, as someone who does YouTube and as someone who owns multiple websites, that the ad rates are down and they were going to go all in, Disney and HBO and Netflix, on advertising supported tiers. And I'm like, good luck with that, because you're not going to get very good rates now because the money's not there. Disney and Warner's stocks hit 52-week lows in late December. Netflix and Paramount and Comcast hit the same benchmarks earlier in the year. Actually, Paramount's doing pretty good, I guess, this year. So they're talking about how the pain of this is going to continue in the first half of 2023, according to media executives. Disney and Warner Brothers, two companies undergoing transitions, especially when it comes to streaming, each hit 52-week lows in recent days. So far this year, Warner's stock is down more than 60% and Disney is off by more than 45%. The media industry has come to a turning point as competition among streaming services is at an all-time high, and consumers are getting pickier about their number of subscriptions. On top of that, companies are contending with lower ad revenue and more cord cutting, so expect consolidation. Across the sector, it's chaos. It's chaos. Everyone has been saying for years that technology is going to change the media world, and it has, but we're at this real point now where it's crunch time. He predicts bundled streaming will become more important in 2023. Major tech stocks have lost at least half their value, including Netflix. They dropped more than 50%. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Here they talk specifically about Disney. It said Disney has been facing challenges since the early days of the pandemic, when movie theaters and theme parks were closed for months. Disney's financial performance has been scrutinized in recent months, and following its disappointing earnings report in November, the company's board ousted Bob Chapek and brought back Bob Iger. Again, there's a lot more to that. Apparently, it was the CFO, Christine McCarthy, behind a lot of it. And apparently, it had something to do with Bob Chapek pushing the numbers around, that Bob Chapek wanted to take from other divisions to pay for streaming content without people knowing how much they were actually spending on streaming content. Disney investors were immediately elated over Iger's return. The stock soon faltered afterwards, most recently due in part to a lower than expected opening box office. Oh my God, are you allowed to say this? The Disney stock faltered afterwards, most recently due in part to a lower than expected opening box office for Avatar: The Way of Water. Are we allowed to say that? Is that hate speech? Warner's stock got slammed this year as management for the newly combined company has been cutting costs, warning of a tough ad market and focusing on making its streaming business profitable. Since Netflix's losses earlier this year, Wall Street has been questioning the viability of streaming in general. I think everyone was trying to emulate Netflix, and the jig is up. Wow. So this is pretty damning. This is Wall Street basically saying we don't have any real hope for streaming services to rebound or hit the heights that they did before, because everybody thought they were going to be Netflix. And when everybody's Netflix, nobody is, and everybody's cutting costs. And these studios have literally killed themselves trying to become the next Netflix, and even Netflix isn't worth anything now. The new focus is on cutting costs. I think Warner Brothers Discovery is leading the charge, but we're going to see other companies pare back their ambitions in the streaming space over time. Again, more cheap entertainment. I think we're going to get more cheap stuff coming out of Hollywood because that's what they can afford to do. And this kind of reminds me of the writer's strike, I guess back, was that 2007, 2008, whenever that was, where we had a lot of reality TV, unscripted, and I could totally see them doing that. And again, that sucks because I like science fiction, I like animation. I guess I'm going to be watching a lot more anime or just going back and watching old shows I like, because I don't think we're going to get a lot of really good stuff, expensive stuff going forward. Now, here's a prediction from the LA Times talking about Warner Brothers in particular. They said that they're going to sell off more assets, and they think that they might actually sell off CNN. They could sell CNN completely. They said the company is struggling with huge debt from the Warner Media takeover. Investors are unhappy with the sagging stock price, a sluggish ad market, and acceleration in cord cutting and low employee morale. CNN is a big asset that could be carved off, and a CNN sale could generate serious dough to help pay down the company's $50 billion in debt. Activist investors would be pleased, and Warner Brothers Discovery executives would no longer have to deal with criticism about CNN's ratings or their coverage. Shedding CNN would also preserve the company's core TV and movie business, cable channels, Warner Brothers TV and film studios, etc., etc. So they might cut off CNN to try to save themselves, get rid of some dead weight over Warner. But now Disney, they've got, The Wrap put this article out this morning, said that Disney needs to learn how to Disney again, that they don't know how to Disney. So Disney's entering its 100th anniversary celebration in a paradox. With nearly $5 billion grossed worldwide, Disney was once again the top studio on the annual charts domestically, yet the stock price has plummeted 43% as the Chapek era ended. Iger's back to clean up the mess, yet no, he created the mess. What the cleanup looks like remains to be seen, but a lot of work needs to be done, and almost all the franchises that combine their forces to make Disney the undisputed box office king will have a presence on the release slate. Animation in particular needs to rebuild, as Chapek's streaming-first strategy sent the acclaimed Pixar film Turning Red to Disney+, while Lightyear and Strange World were the biggest box office bombs of their respected studios' history. Disney and Pixar animated films sport budgets that can reach as much as $200 million, more than double of their rivals at DreamWorks and Illumination. Now, Illumination's making bank. So Disney's job next year will be to reestablish its films as can't-miss theatrical events. Good luck with that. They're talking about Star Wars being in bad shape. Lucasfilm, which won over Star Wars fans with Andor, can't seem to get any theatrical projects off the ground. They said Avatar: The Way of Water blasted past $1 billion at the box office in 2 weeks. Maybe Disney doesn't need Star Wars. Then there's Marvel, which continues to rake in untold riches. They're talking about Thor, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, etc., making money, but it is dropping fast. They said the ceiling for the franchise's box office performance may start dropping fast. Disney has been through enough dry spells at the box office in the past. Look at the final years under Eisner, and they have risen again. That's true, but I don't know if they're going to. I don't know how. I mean, a lot of what it would take, the talent is not there anymore. They got rid of them, or they left on their own. So here they talk about Warner. They're like, let's be fair. There were some box office successes for Warner Brothers last year. Of course, The Batman did really well. Elvis, I guess, did really well. Still haven't seen Elvis yet. They said since the merger and since the arrival of David Zaslav, Warner has been making headlines for more behind-the-scenes gossip than what's been going on screen. They're talking about the Wizarding World being in a bad place right now. Black Adam not doing as well as they were hoping for. And now Warner Brothers is going to release 4 DC blockbusters greenlit prior to the arrival of James Gunn and Peter Safran. So they're betting heavy on The Flash, right? But they have Barbie coming out. I forgot Barbie was there. They have Doom Part 2 coming out. Another Evil Dead movie coming out. Yeah, whatever. It's hard to discern what Warner Brothers' long-term theatrical plans are with Zaslav making cost-cutting his top priority. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's not looking good, guys. I think Hollywood is in for a very rude awakening in 2023. I think it's going to get worse. I think it's not just Hollywood, it's also tech. It's also journalism. I think a lot of these media outlets have been propping up these studios. it's all interconnected and it's all kind of cratering. And I think the future is probably going to be more independent content that's going to eventually supplant the old guard. I mean, remember, at one point in time, Disney was the new regime. It was the new guard. Disney was something fresh and new, and that's why it became what it became. And, you know, after 100 years, everything is looking a little stale, isn't it? I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.